एंड पढ़ते वक्त जो भी मुझसे गलती हो उसके लिए पहले ही गुरु साहिब से और आप सबसे हाथ जोड़कर माफी मांगती हूँ. Today we are starting from page number 101, Calming Your Mind. Learn how to calm down your mind and emotions because more content, happy and optimistic. Relax physically, emotionally and mentally. Reduce stress and avoid stressful situations, negative thinking and toxic people. You can begin enjoying inner peace in your everyday life. When there is inner peace, stress, nervousness, and impatience disappear, and that enables you to deal efficiently with the day to day affairs of life. When your mind is calm, you can stop dwelling on negative thoughts, worries, and fears. You can let go of frustrations and negative emotions. You can free yourself from fears and worries to solve anything. We cannot see our own reflection in the running water. It is only in the still water that we can see. The same is true for mind. When you quit your thoughts and mind, you often see much more clearer. Yes, when you overthink, you give your thoughts so much freedom to control the state of mind. We all tend to give our thoughts a certain power because they appear to be so true and accurate. But given enough energy, our thoughts run rampant and start turning negative. And then the trouble begins. Negative thoughts lead to negative feelings, and then it leads to pain and sufferings. The path to happiness starts from understanding of the root cause of the suffering. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. It's founded on our thoughts. It's made up of our thoughts. If we speak or act with an evil thought, pain follows. If one speaks or acts with a pure thought, happiness follows like a shadow that never leaves. So learn to acknowledge your thoughts. If they are getting out of control, stop them. Take a deep breath and bring your focus back to the present. Give yourself permission to let it all go and not think about the past, the future, about anything. Right now is the moment. Live it now. The way we think, breathe, and use our body plays the major role in our creation of suffering and stress. Indeed, we can say that stress is caused by excessive thinking, tensed muscles, and a lack of sufficient oxygen to fuel our system. Right or wrong, good or bad, you or me, easy or difficult, all are created by our thinking. When we view the world with a sense of opposition, the world appears to conspire against us. People desire many things: fame, fortune, power, and success. All of these desires come from a failure to notice what we do have, a sense of who we are. When we all are at peace with who we are not attached to winning or losing, succeeding or failing. When we are not attached to the results we achieve, our body relaxed, we breathe freely and easily. Grace of Almighty, bowing down to Guruji's lotus feet. Jai Guruji. Now we move to the next. Start taking care of your mind, an inner factory of thoughts. Suppose we own a factory that manufactures 59,000 garments a day. It is not wise if only a fraction of them is useful, while rest of them are of no use. Our mind, which is our inner factory, creates around 40,000 to 50,000 thoughts a day. Every thought has the potential to be transformed into a powerful force through words or actions. As owner of this inner factory, we need to ensure every thought is useful. Our life is a long chain of thoughts which come into words and behaviors. Just as the farmer thoroughly checks the quality of the seeds before sowing them, we need to check our thoughts, which are seeds that bear fruits as words and actions. In other words, we need to take ownership of our thoughts and our thought factory. Your every thought has four impacts. It creates your feelings, it affects every cell of your body, it reaches the person about whom you think, and it radiates into the environment. So your thoughts are connected to your emotions, health, relationships, and environment. Observe your thoughts for a minute after every hour and classify them into four categories: positive, which are thoughts of peace, love, happiness, and acceptance. Negative thoughts are of ego, hurt, anger, hatred, or jealousy. Necessary thoughts are related to day activities without the emotions of worry, irritation, fear, or anxiety. Waste thoughts are about the past, future, or about other people, all of which are not in our control. The stage to empower yourself is to create pure thoughts and the good wishes for everyone. Study spiritual knowledge to slow down the mind and inculcate new ways of thinking in your subconscious mind. Every thought becomes a product of your spiritual charging, since information is the biggest source of your thoughts. Grace of Almighty, bind down to Guruji's lotus feet. Shukrana Guruji. Keeping the balance with ease. Living a life which involves different actions, all of which are important in their own way, sometimes requires adjusting to them at every step. For example, this morning, you have a meeting which is going to last for a couple of hours. After that, you have to work on a project which is pending in your office for a long time, or day after day. This is called being action oriented. I work and work very hard every day to bring success in my role. Also, I want to keep love and respect maintained in my relationships, and at the same time, maintain my peace of mind and contentment. All this I do, also realizing that my physical body is to be kept healthy, and also other different areas of my life are to be maintained. Also, my personal time space is which I just give time to myself is not to be forgotten. So, a lot of action filled in a day are tiring us at times. The above is a typical day in the life of a working professional. The day just starts and ends before you know it, with no free time. Also, nowadays, an added dimension is almost everybody's lives is travel time. Then there are things to be taken care of, like diet, rest, and sleep, and even taking care of what everyone expects from me, fulfilling their demands and satisfying them. Amongst all this, the one thing that remains constant is I, the inner being. Spirituality teaches the technique of keeping myself stable and rich with my internal treasures like peace, love, joy, and power. I need to do what, sorry, Sangaji, I need to do that when everything around me is so changeable and constantly moving. Everything moves around me, whereas I remain in one positive state of mind constantly. Also, I don't react, but only respond. I act, but don't become action oriented. I remain soul conscious or inner being conscious. Peace of mind. Man is in search of happiness, but has no peace of mind. He remains dissatisfied. His search for peace and happiness, therefore, never ends. Saint Augustine says that God gave us the senses for using them properly, but we misuse them by indulging in sensual pleasures, whereas the bliss for which we should have striven remains enriched in scriptures only, a thing that its attributes cannot be really separated. The sun and its warmth is inseparable. As long as you are aware of separate entities, you will never have a peaceful mind. and the truth will elude you, seen it through. It is always there, waiting in the wings. That is why Maya is accused of keeping you from the truth by giving you a partial vision. Intelligence is the source of delusion. Grace of Almighty, bowing down to Guruji's lotus feet. Jai Guruji. Fear has no power. Whatever you fear has no power. Rather, it is your fear that has the power. Sometimes the disease could not bring that much harm to us than the panic and the anxiety with which we hold during facing any difficulty. It keeps on bombarding our mind with deep pessimism, and we keep on ruminating the most worst consequences of that situation. In spite of having so much faith in Guruji, we do not think positive. Always remember that you have vibration, and how you vibrate is what the universe echoes back to you in every moment. So try to make yourself positive and your frequency higher. Positive thoughts result in positive outcomes, and it brings more blessings of Guruji in your life because your positivity shows that you have ardent faith in our Guruji. And an awesome anxiety. The Supreme Lord rescues his devotee from the ocean of birth and death. A soul suffering in material existence can never save himself from the ocean of repeated birth, old age, disease, and death. But if he comes to understand God to be the absolute truth, the cause of all causes, he surrenders to him and evokes his misery. When the Lord lifts his long lost devotee out of the ocean of misery and takes him back to the eternally blissful spiritual world. Increase your anxiety to serve him. This is a real asset. This eagerness to love God is not available even after many, many lives of pious activity. So if you have a pinch of that anxiety to serve God, you should know that you are most fortunate. Grace of Almighty, bowing down to Guruji's lotus feet. Jai Guruji. Want of wealth. Don't expect any materialistic things from Guruji. Then you would get Guruji himself. Help the needy. Never hurt anyone, physically or mentally. Chant mantra jap or just his name, Guruji. You have to pray with love from your soul, mind, thoughts. Realize that your chit means soul, is Guruji. Shivoham, Shivoham. Ask Guruji for his forgiveness for all the sins you have done, knowingly or unknowingly. Trust Guruji as your best friend. Human is to love, money is used. But people love money and use human beings. Appreciate someone as much as he treats you. Uncounted for destroys your peace. To drown you, there must be people sitting in the world whom you yourself have taught yourself to swim. You never use both time and word carelessly, because both of them neither come again nor give a chance. A long thread and long tongue only cause problems. So the thread should be wrapped and the tongue wrapped. It is said that there is no greater weapon than silence to overcome discord. So whenever someone hurts or someone hurts the heart, it is better to remain silent, because time gives answers to those whom we do not answer. Keep only one rule in life. Speak straight, speak the truth, speak on your face, and those who are yours will understand, and those who are a name will go away. Give knowledge to someone as much as he can understand, because water is wasted if the tap is not closed after the bucket is full or after filling the bucket. Grace of Almighty, bowing down to Guruji's lotus feet. I trust you, Guruji. I surrender. I trust you, Guruji. I trust your plans. I trust your will. I trust what you can see and I can't. I trust you with it all. Trusting Guruji is the hardest lesson to learn, but most crucial. To trust Guruji is to trust his timing. Trust Guruji is to trust his ways. Let's fix our eyes on Guruji. Choose to believe Guruji's plans really are the best plans. And remember that we can trust him at all times. Soak in these words tonight before you go to bed and speak them out loud over your situations. Guruji is the solution for every single one of my troubles. Guruji is within me and perfectly equips me to know what to do. Guruji is within me, therefore, there is nothing I will face alone. Evidence of his constant work is all around me, if only I choose to see it. Our only duty is to ensure that we do not hurt anybody deliberately. It may happen inadvertently or unknowingly, and that will be accounted for as a mistake. But when we do it deliberately, it's a crime. A mistake can be forgiven, but a crime is something which will call for a penalty sooner or later. We will have to pay for it by going through the same experience. When someone comes to you for any favor or help, you may smilingly refuse if you don't wish to, please. But do not insult or offend the one in need. Guruji knows that somebody comes to us only if there is an old account pending, unsettled. This is the chance to get rid of it. The earlier, the better. Clear the slate. When you refuse to help, you extend the pendency. When you insult or offend, you have added interest to it. Listen to Guruji. He loves us. No end. Even if we mess up. When we ask ourselves, why isn't Guruji answering my prayers? Point number one, Guruji is active, even if we can't see his activity. Just because we can't discern or detect what he is doing doesn't mean he is not working. Number two, what may feel like a lack of intervention is not a sign of his lack of affection. Number three, Guruji delays are not denials. Guruji allows us to wait so that we can grow. Delays doesn't mean denial. It just means wait. Waiting is hard for us because our society doesn't believe in it. If things do not come in an instant, then we move on. Patience is a virtue that needs to be valued more. Guruji's love us too much to answer our prayers at any other time than the right time, and in any other way than the right way. Trusting Guruji is not about ignoring your feelings or reality. It is not pretending that everything is okay when it is not. Trusting Guruji is living a life of belief in and in surrender to Guruji, even when it's difficult. When we have, I don't know why, situation in our lives, we have to make hard choices to settle our mind with what we do know. Otherwise, the I don't know whys will sweep us away from the treacherous currents of doubts and delusionment. So I grab hold of what I do know. I do know Guruji is my protector. Sorry. Guruji loves me no matter what. He can only have my best interest in mind. I do know Guruji is my support. Guruji plans for me are the best, even if they don't align with mine. Guruji will give, but probably not in the way I expect. I do know Guruji is there to take care of me. He will fulfill my dreams. Others may break their promises, but Guruji will never. And that's where I prank my mind. That is where I park my mind, my emotions, and my trust. It's not the tidiest parking spot on the lot. It doesn't make the hurt sting less, but it's a place I can wad up my runaway emotions and hand them over to my perfectly capable and all-knowing Guruji. We can't always fix our circumstances, but we can fix our eyes on Guruji. Surrender yourself and all your belongings at the feet of Supreme, like a dedicated life of godliness. think that nothing is yours and everything belongs to him. Guruji. This is surrender to Guruji. Give the power of attorney to Guruji. Let him do whatever he wants. You will have no worry or anxiety. You will be peaceful. Surrender contains intense love and faith. After surrendering to the Lord, you should not grumble, fret, and fume when any trouble comes. You should not complain or complain to Guruji. Oh Guruji, you have no compassion. If you complain, then there means no meaning you have surrendered. Though surrender, the devotee immerses himself into the eternal essence. You endear yourself unto the Lord by self-surrender. The more the surrender, the more the grace. The degree of grace is in the direct proportion to the degree of surrender. You do not lose anything in surrendering to the Lord. You attain fullness. Shukrana Guruji. Divya Shakti. Keep vigilant watch over your thoughts during the day. Don't look into the eyes of others. This is the main place that you get infection. Eyes are the windows of the soul. So only look into the eyes of someone who is chaste. All right? If you want to look into the eyes, you will become infected. If you are a strong soul, you must affect others. If you are weak, others will affect you. It's but natural. Keeping constant vigilant watch over your thoughts every moment. If you watch the present moment, that will go on till eternity. Nothing can go wrong. It is what you digest, reading and embossing your brain with facts and figures. All scriptures of the world won't help you. Right understanding only comes with God's grace. Even if grace comes, unless you live up to it, something is still lacking. So that is why it is said, first is God's grace. He has given you the human birth. This means you can go up, go back to your home. Again, His grace. The second grace, you met somebody who was the Word made flesh. This is His grace. Then that Word made flesh. Grace was there, gave you something to start with. So all of this, God's grace and Guru's grace is done. So many thousands of dollars have been deposited in your names. Now comes the third grace, your own grace. Have grace on your own self and go to the window where that money can be withdrawn. So even God's grace and the Guru's grace does not help much unless you have the grace on your own self, you see. The whole thing depends on you. Be gracious on your own self. Shukrana Guruji. Thank you so much for such beautiful messages, Guru Sahib, and so much to learn. How we need to watch our thoughts. We need to keep a watch. As Guruji Maharaj himself says, Sangat ji, बिन भागा सत्संग ना मिले. हम सब जानते हैं कि गुरु के हुक्म, उनकी मर्जी के बिना कुछ नहीं होता. मालिक की मर्जी के बिना अगर पत्ता नहीं हिलता तो हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. So the best way, as Auntie has put it, just surrender to him. And he listens. He listens to everything. I will share a very small satsang regarding the reading of this book that I experienced. I was away for almost 5 weeks from my home, and the person my house help, he helps me do the, save off Maharaj, so he knows the ways. And while I was leaving, I told him, Guruji ka khayal rakhna, unko khana, like दोपहर का खाना, like, just look after him. जो भी मैं करती हूँ routine, just do that. When I came back, Sangat ji, one auntie told me, Auntie, मैं आपके आने की वेट कर रही थी. मुझे 3 दिन से एक ही सपना आ रहा है कि आप जिसको ड्यूटी दे के गए थे ना गुरुजी को लुक आफ्टर करने की, वो गुरुजी को खाना देते ही खाना उठा लेता है. जैसे हमने मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम मंदिर में देखा है कि भगवान के आगे खाना रखते हैं, बेल बजाते हैं और खाना हटा लेते हैं. पर हमारे गुरुजी तो वहां विराजमान है और हम सब को ये पूरा यकीन है, मैं जानती हूँ, इसमें कोई शक या शुबा या कोई सेकंड थॉट है ही नहीं कि मालिक वो खाना खाते हैं. हमें दिखे या ना दिखे, वो हमारी आंखों की कमजोरी है. मालिक तो प्रत्यक्ष बैठे हैं. She told me that and I felt really bad. मैं गुरु साहब के रूम में बैठ के उनसे शाम की बात है, तो रात को मैं बैठी थी उनके पास, तो मैं उनको बहुत सॉरी बोलती रही कि आई एम वेरी सॉरी गुरुजी, गलती हो गई, माफ कर देना, इफ दिस हैपेंड. एंड आई स्लेप्ट विद अ वेरी हैवी हार्ट. एंड इन द मॉर्निंग, Bhatia aunty always only sends the message, Jai Guruji aunty, just a polite reminder, आपकी सेवा है. But that day, she sent me the message that you are a loving, devoted daughter of Guruji and you are special. And I cried. And I cried because he listens. He listens. It was like that message made me feel that he has accepted my sorry and I have been forgiven by my word, by my Lord. Because उनके बिना मेरे पास ना कुछ है, ना मैं कुछ हूँ, कुछ भी नहीं, उनके चरणों की धूल. सो संगत जी, गुरु साहिब की बात करें और सरेंडर करके रहें. सो बस इससे बेहतर कुछ नहीं है. आंटी ने जिन शब्दों में कहा, उन शब्दों से बेटर वर्ड्स हैं ही नहीं. सो मालिक का शुक्राना करते हुए अपनी वाणी को विराम देती हूँ. जय गुरु जी. थैंक यू सो मच. शुक्राना मेरे मालिक.
Thank you, Seema Aunty, for such a blissful reading. I'm sure somebody has got some answer today. And we look forward to these readings so much because we are all connected so deeply to Guruji. Just